Hi everybody, this is Bronwyn with Big Sky Diamond Painting, and I am here for the Diamonds Are for Christmas Diamond Paint-a-thon, sort of. I don't know what you would really call it, but I am here to keep you company on this holiday and work on my Winter with DAC painting, which is, you can see I've got it started a little bit already, but this is Ice Princess version 1 by Hannah Lynn. My particular favorite version, honestly, because it has the snow leopard down here and has the full picture, but the other version is a little bit smaller, or well, it may not even actually be smaller. I don't know off the top of my head if the other version is actually a smaller image, but this one is 55 by 69 centimeters, I want to say. Yeah, 55 by 69 centimeters. Round with Aurora Borealis, of course, because I don't even think that Diamond Art Club does paintings without ABs anymore at this point. Anyhow, I am just gonna get started on this and chat with you guys, and hopefully we will just have kind of a nice sit down, talk a little bit about the holidays, and I'll keep you company while you are doing whatever it is that you're gonna do. Oops, we're gonna get right to it. I'm gonna turn on my light pad here. Let's see here. I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to situate this, because the way that my filming setup is unfortunately not super conducive to a whip and chat right at this moment with my light pad. Just ideally I'd be able to turn the light pad, but my outlet is on this side of my setup, which means that if I want to turn my light pad straight, then what happens is the button, which is up here right now, ends up right under my hand, and we all know how non-useful that is. So right now we are working on 3843, so we're working on this symbol. I think it's just going to zoom in and out. It can't focus. Anyway, we're working on that color. This is where I left off during the work week this week. So we're gonna work a little bit on that color. With my clear covers, I don't section them off super tightly or anything like that. So I just kind of work in a row back and forth across the painting, and that is how we're gonna do this while I chat with you guys. So and of course I have this kitted up in the Craftmates Lockables. This is just one of the containers. Comes in this sort of binder that you can fit a bunch of the containers in, and has a slot on the back, and I've put my picture in there. I don't always do that, but for this one I figured I would, since it was kind of special. Anyhow, we are just going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to get this little bit of, I'm going and getting cat hair and stuff in here, which is, just super awesome, am I right? I'm filming this at the beginning of December, so the holidays aren't quite here yet, but of course a lot of us have started the holidays even a little bit sooner than we normally do. Of course, Thanksgiving is past. We've all gone crazy at Black Friday, possibly. I definitely did. I got 3 from Diamond Art Club of the new releases, which you'll probably have seen unboxed by now, but if not, they'll be coming soon. I got a couple from Dreamer Designs. I ordered some from Treasure Studios Arts, and I pre-ordered Jasmine Beckett Griffith from Craftably, and I think that covers everything. Oh, right, and I'm still waiting on my order from Die Moon Shop. So we've got some stuff kind of in the works on its way here. I don't have them up here with me, but you'll probably see them in some future videos if you haven't seen them already. I got a set of the little container cover minders from Lexi Lily Crafts, I believe it's called. I'll put the name up here in case I got it wrong, on Etsy. She's the one that does the curved multi-placers. I didn't order any of those because I don't really need them, but I was looking for some cute container type cover minders, which again, I actually don't use cover minders super often, but I've been working on some smaller paintings downstairs on my desk. And downstairs on my desk, let me just make sure, okay, good, that is one, is actually one of the places where cover minders do come in handy for holding back clear covers. Because when I'm set out look like this, I don't really need something to keep this back. It's especially with Diamond Art Club canvases, the cover is not particularly prone to flipping back over. But if I'm working on like a small painting in a cramped space like my desk downstairs, it is very helpful to have something like a cover minder. And I like the containers because then I also have something right there to put my trash in. And since it has a cap, I can just put the cap on it, and when I'm done and paused on a painting, and I don't have to like dump it out or do anything like that. So that's my main reason there that I'm doing it that way. Okay, this color there's not really a lot of, so I think I might actually be almost finished with it, but I'm trying to be as efficient as I can about, oh, we've got quite a few here in her hair, so we'll just go ahead and get those. Anyway, I haven't used the new cover minders yet because the only thing I've been working on is this, but I'm looking forward to it. And they have these pretty big gems on the tops of them, which is another reason I really liked the ones from this person. So I'll stick a picture in here for you guys to see them, just so you know what I'm talking about. And they were not expensive either. It was like, I want to say it was like $5 a pair. I got 2 pair because I couldn't decide which colors to get. So I decided, okay, well, if I can't decide what color to get, I'm just going to get both colors that I like. So I got both sets that I liked. And now I'm set. I don't need any more cover minders. Even if Happy Hippo Finds is tempting me with their little tentacle, their little resin tentacles. They are super cute. But it's so hard, guys. I don't need that many cover minders. I don't need needle minders. Like, I don't need that stuff. So I'm trying to be really good and not just buy a bunch of extra stuff I really don't need, because I've already stashed so many diamond paintings that it's going to take me forever to actually get through my entire stash of diamond paintings. And I know for a fact that I'm very likely not going to get away with not buying more before I get through my stash. I mean, there's going to be new releases. That's just how it works. There's going to be new ones that I want. So I'm trying to minimize the number of accessories that I buy extraneously. And cover minders, I mean, I just don't need that many because I don't ever have that many paintings going at once. Right now is probably the most I've ever had. This particular color, by the way, is so staticky. Look at this. These will not come out of my tray. They are just, if I try to push them down, they literally just like bounce. Look at this. See, they're just bouncing around. It is insanity. Well, I guess that's one way to do it, is to just knock them completely out of the tray and put them in one by one. Goodness. Oh, wait, that is, okay, that is one of these. We'll stick that in there. Okay. So, we're gonna, the last color I have left in here is this pink color. We have a little bit up here. So we're gonna dump this one out. Anyhow, I hope everybody is having a good holiday. I don't know what our holiday is going to be like. It's probably going to be pretty small because, you know, the corona. Not that we ever have a huge holiday anyway. We are pretty insular here, but once in a while I'll have like friends that I go to a party or something with, and that's probably not going to happen this year, which is, it's sort of okay. I mean, I'm sad about it a little bit, but it's not like I'm completely it's not like I have such an active holiday social life that I am really bummed about it this year or anything like that. So I count myself among one of the fortunate to have a fairly low-key holiday plan most years anyway. I am probably going to try to decorate my island on Animal Crossing for Christmas. And other than that, just enjoy the time off I get from work and whatever slowness we have as a result of the holidays at work, because January is always big time craziness, and I'm more than a little bit worried about how I'm going to handle it this year, because mentally things are a little bit rough with all this derm and string. But alas, not much we can do about it. Must persevere, so on and so forth. So I am choosing to try not to dwell on it too much. So I'm trying to think about non-traditional holiday traditions. I figured, you know, other than just catching you guys up a little bit, which I've already done now, just kind of talking about something that I feel is like really close to me around holidays, which is spending them with your chosen family and not necessarily your biological family. Now, that's not to say that there's something wrong with your biological family. Obviously, everybody experiences those things differently. And I can't say that my biological family is particularly terrible or anything like that. But they are definitely the type of family that I would spend a shorter amount of time with. You know, I would, if I lived closer to them, just spend a little bit of time with them around the holidays. I am not a, go over to their house for hours and have the big dinner and everything type of person. Now, if I could do that with my friend group and the people that I have just really connected with on a deep level, that would be amazing. But that is also pretty much not in the cards for me because most of my friend group is scattered pretty far across this country and this globe. And a lot of them have, their own families and stuff too, and have a lot more traditional approach to spending holidays and things like that. And a lot of them have their own chosen families that are separate from me. And that is just kind of how it's played out. So I don't want to, make it sound like I'm suffering for all of this or anything, because I'm to the point now where I'm just kind of getting used to my own low-key holiday traditions with my partner and his family, and just sort of, accepting that it feels different for me now. I think that that's part of getting older, first of all, which is just, realizing that Christmas isn't going to stay, and not just Christmas, but holidays in general, it's not going to stay the same feeling as it is when you're a little kid. And I think I didn't have the smooth transition that I would have liked for that, because it kind of, my mom passed away when I was a sophomore in college, and it sort of, I don't want to say stunted my progression on the Christmas traditions thing, but it definitely affected how quickly I was able to adapt to the more adult experience of going off on your own and being with a partner and sort of stepping away from how things were when you grew up. So I am starting to embrace that a lot more as I am now, just on the other side of my mid-30s, not planning on having kids or anything. So, not going to jump into that more traditional having kids and doing Santa and all that kind of stuff, but still spending time with my partner and doing the things together that we like to do together. And I think the only thing that I miss sometimes is that feeling of it really being like a more special time of year. Because honestly, I spend enough time with my partner and I bond enough with him that the holidays just aren't really that special. We get each other things all year, you know. I sort of try to take some enjoyment out of giving gifts to people other than my partner during the holiday times. But it's just not the same. And I'm just farther removed from it, you know. And I think that I'm definitely probably not the only person that feels that way. But I just kind of find it fascinating, I guess, how diverse the experience of things like, you know, the Christmas holiday, and not just Christmas, but this time of year where sort of all these holidays that are supposed to be about family and, well, I mean, not at their core necessarily, because that's not how they started, but have become more about spending time with your family and, you know, exchanging gifts and all that kind of thing. Sort of how different that experience can be for everybody. And it's definitely interesting to me, and a little bit melancholy at times, because like I said, it's not actually really that special of a time of year for me. Like, it almost feels like it should be more special, I guess, is a oh my god, I'm sorry guys for hitting the camera there, but it almost feels like it should be, you know, a more special time of year. But, you know, like, the reality when you get to be an adult is that it's just not. And a little bit of that would come back, I think, probably if I was to decide to have children or something. But I'm not going to have children. So instead, what I do try to do is just enjoy it and let other folks enjoy it, and just take the perks that come along with sort of the rest of the world going along at that pace, I guess, would be the best way to word that. And there are times, like I said, that I wish I was closer to more of my tribe. I don't want to use the word tribe. That's too appropriational. But more of my group, so that we could just really spend that time having fun and just celebrating this in a way that's like really authentic to me. But, you know, like I said, that it's just not in the cards for me, especially not at this time. And maybe someday, if we move somewhere else, or I live closer to these friends and that sort of thing, like, maybe it'll be different. But right now, I'm mostly okay with how things are, even if it's not like the ideal or whatever. So I kind of just think of it that way. And I feel like I'm just getting really, like, philosophical right now. And I'm feeling a little bit shy about it. So I think I might just pivot a little bit. I think I talked about this last year, but I am honestly not a fan of, like, the season, the holiday season. I don't like Christmas music. I'm not like super into decorating. I'm not into the whole thing, really. I do like ugly Christmas sweaters. Those I can get behind. the more offbeat they are, the better. So I have one that says Meowie Christmas on it. And I have one that says Happy Holidays, and it has like rainbow, like a rainbow Christmas Fair Isle pattern. See, that's the thing. I don't like overtly Christmas stuff, but I do really like wintry knits and things like that sort of style. So I do enjoy that, which is fine. But, you know, most of the stuff is it's so like green and red and just very, very Christmassy. So that kind of turns me off a little bit. But, you know, just kind of have to go with it. Anyway, I don't really particularly like that stuff, but I'm trying to be really forgiving this year because I feel like everybody just kind of needs an extra boost. And plus, since I'm not going out, it's not like I'm being inundated with Christmas music everywhere I go either, which is extra good. So, you know, that's just me. But anyway, I can't even remember where I was going with that, but I'm just kind of trying to embrace it a little bit more this year. And one of the things I'm going to do is my friend has designed a bunch of Christmas sweaters in Animal Crossing. And if you're not familiar, in Animal Crossing, one of the things you can do is you can have your friends or acquaintances, or pretty much anybody who comes over to your island can go into your clothing store once you've unlocked it. And they can actually hang designs that they have made on your wall to buy, so that you can either wear them / save them, or, and this is the part that's really fun, your villagers will randomly wear those as well. Now you can also hang your own designs, like the stuff that you design, on the wall. But I am not much of a designer, so I've only done that once, and it did result in some super cuteness. But my friend, who's done a whole bunch of Christmas sweaters, is going to come over and hang those all in my Able Sisters shop, and that has kind of got me a little bit pumped for Christmas. Or Toy Day, as they call it in Animal Crossing. So I'm pretty into that. I'm gonna do like a little bit of a wintry decor, so that I can kind of get behind. Plus, the best thing about the Animal Crossing stuff is that all their winter items have a rainbow colorway for them. So like the illuminated presents and the illuminated reindeer and the big giant Christmas tree all have rainbow variations. So I'm gonna do those, and it's gonna be fun. The other thing I'm noticing as I do this is that I forgot this a little bit, but the drills for like full crystal paintings are a little bit bigger than actual round drills, and that's why it was driving me nuts a little bit using this multi-placer, because it isn't 100% awesome for full crystals, because they are just that tiny bit bigger. However, I'll get through it. I'm still not done with that. Well, who knows? By the time this airs, I might actually be done with it. But as of the time of this filming, I'm not done with the full crystal succulents painting from Rainy Day Diamonds that I have been working on. So we shall see how far I get along on that. I kind of paused on everything else to do Winter with DAC, which if you have not signed up for, by the time this airs, it will be too late. But if you're not familiar, it is the December Diamond Paint Along that Rachel Ray and Wolfpack Diamond Painting are doing. And it's basically just do a winter-themed Diamond Art Club painting. And there's a small, like, little drawing contest. I shouldn't say drawing. There's a small little raffle, sort of, with it for anybody who enters. You can participate with any winter painting, but you can't enter the contest unless you do a Diamond Art Club. I have been meaning to get to this Diamond Art Club, so... And she's so clearly winter themed that I did not really need to do much to prep other than to get this kitted up. So I'm definitely enjoying it. It's nice. I mean, this is going to be a really pretty finished product, and I'm enjoying myself. So I look forward to actually finishing her. Again, I don't know if she's going to be finished by the end of December. If she's finished by when this airs, well, golly, I'll be surprised, but not displeased. Okay. I'm just trying to see, there's, I'm working on a gray color, and it's a lot more, like, intermittent than some of the colors I've been working on. I tried to do a lot of the big color blocky parts, like this white and things, to start off with, just so I could make some quick progress. And now I'm sort of doing my methodical work through each row thing. So this is going to be a little bit slower than what I was doing, but that's okay. It's just fine. Okay. So anyway, anyhow, lately, basically my sleep schedule has been messed up since Thanksgiving, which again has only been a little over a week as of the time I'm filming this. I'm hoping that by the time you guys see this, my sleep schedule will not be as messed up, but the main reason that my sleep schedule is messed up is I stayed up late Thanksgiving night reading a book, finished it, and now I've just been on a reading kick, so I keep reading other things and getting caught up in them and going to bed later than I should, and then when I'm in bed, like, thinking about the story I was reading, and it's just been a real trip of not the best kind. I mean, I should be getting to bed earlier is straight up the long and short of it, and even when I do get to bed early enough, I'm laying there thinking forever. So it's been a challenge this past week. Also, the last 3 days, for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I had a migraine all day at work because of some scented bar soap. Which which was really, really not cool. I keep getting paranoid that I'm using the wrong symbol. But I'm not. I'm using the correct one. So that headache hasn't fully gone away. My allergies are acting up, and I don't think my allergy meds are completely taking care of them right now. So that's been a little bit of a hassle. So all in all, you know, I'm just trying to get through. But if I seem kind of like downbeat right now, that's probably part of it. I don't know. I feel like I'm not making good conversation. So I apologize to you guys if I'm not being interesting enough. And I'm going to pretend like I'm not self-conscious at all. Okay, so I think what I'll talk about now, because this I can actually ask, and we can all just chat about it in the Premiere chat, which I have taken now more than halfway into my video to remember is existing. And I could have been asking you guys questions this whole time. Is what is everybody watching to keep themselves sane right now? I'll start. Sorry, had to laugh to myself just a tiny bit. So I pretty much, since the beginning of the whole pandemic, just really starting to affect me in the US, have not been able to watch much of anything serious. I just cannot do it. I was already kind of gravitating away from anything remotely serious before that, but now I just can't. So right now, what we are going hardcore on is My Hero Academia, which we are, like the trash that we are, watching the dubbed version because I want to be able to watch it casually enough that I don't have to read subtitles. That's me. I just don't even have the energy to read subtitles. I do watch it with closed captions because I like to be able to tell what was said, and sometimes you can't actually hear words. So I actually I watch everything with closed captions or subtitles, depending on whether or not they're closed captions or subtitles as a choice. And that is what I do. But I much prefer something I don't have to look at the screen to hear. So that's what I'm doing now. We're just going all in hardcore My Hero Academia, which is actually turning out like really good. I am like kind of sad I waited this long, but at the same time, like, there's so many good animes out there, and they are not all my style, even if I can acknowledge like they are definitely good, like, you know, critically acclaimed and everything. But, you know, that doesn't mean that that's my style. Like, I like more of a just the vibe of anime that I like is not always the same thing as what like a really good anime is. And we're getting to the point now in My Hero Academia where we're watching it where things are getting like a little more serious. And like that's definitely a little bit rough. Like that's probably one of the things that's hard for me about anime is that it's so serialized, and the pacing on it can just be so all over the place because they're not really thinking of in terms of, okay, so this needs to be an episode. It's more of, we're telling this story and this is just how much fits in an episode. So it can be a little rough, but I'm going to stick with it because I think overall, so far, it seems like the series seems to have a pretty much, you know, good outlook where bad stuff happens, but for the most part, the good guys get by, and that's just kind of the stuff that I want right now. And there's still, like, you know, we're in a pretty serious part now, but there's still, like, goofy parts, so that's good. It's not, I wish that, and if you guys have recommendations for, like, fun, goofy, like, silly anime especially, but, like, grown-up stuff, I guess. I don't want to say stuff. And I don't even want to necessarily say cartoons because it doesn't have to be animated. But, like, I'll tell you examples of, like, the other stuff that I have on my plate right now. So we are also in the middle of watching Arrested Development, which I had never seen before, but I really liked. I like watched a few compilation videos because I like the lady who plays Lucille Bluth, because she plays Mallory Archer, and Archer's like one of my favorite shows. So I started watching that because the compilations got me hooked. So we're almost finished with that, but we're kind of putting it on pause because I'm watching My Hero Academia. I really liked Ouran High School Host Club and Disastrous Life of Psyche K. I really liked the first season of Black Butler. The second one was less satisfying, but it was still okay. But, like, the problem I had with that was, like, the goofiness was just, like, a little bit too goofy. Like, I thought that, like, the over-the-top, like, seriousness and, like, you know, like, silliness of the whole, how would I would say it? Like, just the Butler character was just, like, so over the top and just insanely proper that it was funny. So I don't know how seriously you're supposed to take it because they have those other characters in there that are just so goofy and so offbeat and off the wall that I feel like that one's kind of a hard one to nail down. But my partner is not a fan of that one. He hates that one. Let's see, what else do I like? Really big fan of Bob's Burgers, of course. Archer, you already know. We watched Venture Brothers, which was pretty great. Sad that one's done. They kind of left you on a cliffhanger. You know, just that kind of stuff. I liked Adventure Time okay. I mean, you've probably already seen my unboxing of the Adventure Time painting by now. But, like, I'm not, like, a diehard fan or anything, but it was pretty good. Like Rick and Morty, hate the fandom, but who doesn't feel that way anymore? Let's see, TV shows that aren't cartoons. Sorry, I'm having a hard time thinking of them. See, like, when I think of TV shows, I'm thinking of, like, my favorite TV shows, which are, like, Burn Notice, but I can't even, like, I, once in a while, can watch an episode of that right now, but even that sometimes is just too much for me, you know? Like, it's a little bit rough right now. Some of this, it's just too thinky, and I just need like fluff, pure fluff that is just silly. But at the same time, like I'm not really super into like the traditional sitcoms anymore. So like it just doesn't appeal to me. Like I can objectively know that something like, say, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is funny and decent, and I can even enjoy it when I watch it, but like I just don't get excited about it. You know, like it just doesn't make me all that excited to watch. So I'm interested to hear what you guys are watching. I don't really do a lot of reality TV, but I did watch every episode of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives that was available on Hulu, because that's a nice sort of mindless thing you can just put on in the background. And I think Guy Fieri is the original unproblematic fave, and I will fight you if you say otherwise, because I know he's cheesy, but I just kind of embrace that, and that's kind of where I am right now, honestly. Like I'm just really like okay with cheesy things, and I should probably, speaking of cheesy, I should probably track down the new Cats and watch that, because it's probably like would make my day and make me laugh and be hilarious. But you know, even doing something like that is just kind of its own hassle in a way. So who knows? I also right now, like honestly, I don't have the attention span for movies. We watch a half hour, one or two half-hour shows every morning before work. Sometimes, we've been watching Dimension 20 on Dropout, which is the College Humor channel that they have. My partner's really into RPGs and stuff, so we've been watching that. And like honestly, that's the kind of thing that's gonna like spoil you for like if you're into role-playing games. And oh my god, this is so staticky that these are literally bouncing out of the tray, guys. I didn't put any dryer sheets in here because I didn't have them with me, but I might have to go through after I film this and just like grab a dryer sheet and then just put it in every one of these to try to get this to die down before the next time I work on it. Anyway, like if you're even into like remotely into D&D, or like you like comedians, then definitely check out Dimension 20. It is really a great show. I've got a huge crush on Brennan Lee Mulligan. He is just incredible. And he's so like smart and hilarious, and they always have great guests. And I mean, basically the whole College Humor team is just incredible anyway. And they've, you know, like there's just a lot of them that I really love, and they have all of them that I really love on the show. The McElroy brothers were on the show, and that's actually the first one that Jeremy like watched with me. Jeremy's my partner, by the way, if you guys don't remember. Anyway, the first one we watched was Tiny Heist, which had all the McElroys, actually, not just the brothers, but also their dad, Clint, and that was pretty amazing. And then we watched Attack on the Bloodkeep. I forget, but it had some peeps from Critical Role, which is another D&D podcast, not podcast, a D&D show, which I'm sure some of you guys already are familiar with this stuff because they're on YouTube and everything. But that one, I mean, there's just all this crossover between different fandoms that I'm in. And the thing is, like, if you are a fan of role-playing games, like these shows will like spoil it for you completely. Like, and it, you know, it may give you inspiration. So if you're like even a bigger fan than I am, like I don't play a lot because it's honestly too much of a commitment with my chronic illnesses. I just can't commit to being there all the time because oftentimes I just feel not up to it. So I don't play, but like they are just so good because they get professional voice actors, professional comedians, like these people that just make it so fun to watch that you just like never think about it the same ever again. And so I've been definitely enjoying that some. It's not something like I super look forward to or anything, but it is definitely a nice change to have thrown in the mix. So I don't hate it. I ain't mad at it, as we would say. Okay. So yeah, that's the other stuff. And then of course, like other than all those things that we watch, the other things that keeps me sane is just my podcasts. So I don't even think I've got like my laundry list in front of me or anything, but I listen to My Brother and Me, which is the McElroys. I listen to Jordan Jesse Go. I listen to a bunch of stuff on the Maximum Fun Network, which if you've never heard of it and you're a fan of comedy podcasts, definitely go check it out because they have some really good stuff that is just like a good, easy listen. They also have some really good social justice stuff like Minority Corner and, oh gosh, what's it called? Jeepers, I listen to it every week and I cannot remember the name. I am so sorry, guys. There's another one. I'll put the name up here. My mind is just blanking and I'm so ashamed of myself because I listen to it every week and I just can't think of the name. I also listen to Stop Podcasting Yourself. That's another comedy one. I listen to International Waters, which is like a panel show comedy podcast, which I love. If you guys aren't familiar with panel shows at all, they are really big in the UK, but basically they just get some funny people together and play like a trivia show or like some dumb game show. And I think they should be bigger in the US because they are freaking amazing. But, you know, we're, I guess, bigger on just like non-comedians reality TV. I don't know. It's not like we don't have stuff like that, but it's just not as much of a thing, you know, like, whereas, you know, there's 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, there's Big Fat Quiz in the UK, there's, I think there's that show called Hypothetical. I think that counts as a panel show. Basically, they just get a panel of comedians and do a bunch of funny stuff, and it's like kind of like a trivia or quiz show, but it's just like, you know, just funny. And I just really enjoy that. So I've just been finding a lot of enjoyment in comedy and stuff lately, which is honestly the only thing keeping me sane. And so the Troubled Waters show is basically the podcast version of that. And that comes out like every other week. And it's all like really pop culture related and I love it. So there's that one. I listen to Sawbones quite often if it's a topic that interests me. I'll listen to Sawbones. There is the JV Club, which is Janet Varney, who you may know as the voice of Korra from Legend of Korra. She does this podcast where she brings on different people that she knows. Usually, you know, it can be like an actress or a comedian or something like that. And she brings them on to talk about their high school years, hence JV, which is also Janet Varney, but it's pretty good. Like I definitely enjoy that podcast, and I've been listening to that one since before it was on Maximum Fun, actually. And just like a lot of good stuff there. Then there is Scam Goddess, which is basically a true crime podcast, but for scammers, because I can't deal with the murdery true crime stuff. So I listened to the one about scams, which is pretty good. Let's see, what else is there? I'm trying to catch up on Welcome to Night Vale, because that's kind of just a good, you know, serialized story to listen through and just get in a few episodes, especially because they're, you know, pretty short. So that's pretty short. That's a pretty good one. There's, trying to think. I think that covers most of them. There's some that I've kind of backed off listening to right now, like Throwing Shade, which has since changed its name to Insert Here because I can't remember because my brain is broken. I listen to that a lot, but I've had to kind of back off a little bit on it because the pandemic has just got my brain so drained that I cannot handle it all the time. But I love Aaron and Brian. They are amazing. They're comedians. They cover homo issues, women's issues, basically kind of social justice-y stuff. They don't cover racism as much because they're both white and they don't have the same perspective, but they will occasionally like dip into that, but mainly they're covering the kind of stuff that they follow, and it's really good. Then trying to think, I feel like there's more that I'm missing, but I can't really think of them right now. So there you have it. Those are my podcasts that I listen to. And then on top of all that, if I really can't find anything, and I've caught up on all my podcasts for the week and there's nothing else to watch, I will sometimes go to YouTube and look at either my Bim Bam clips, or I'll watch some diamond painting videos or some streaming or videos about Animal Crossing. So that is basically my life right now. Of course, I've told you since Thanksgiving I've been doing a lot more reading, just because that's kind of the headspace I'm in right now. But it's not ideal to do while you're, goodness gracious, while you're listening to something. So that's kind of just how it goes here. Anyway, it looks like we are coming up on the end of my hour. So I hope you guys have had a nice chat sitting here with me. I do very much thank you for hanging out with me this boring Christmas time, which is probably more boring than usual since you are hopefully stuck at home and hopefully healthy. But I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me, that you're having a very happy holiday and Merry Christmas and whatever else you celebrate. I hope you're having a good time right now and that you're staying safe and healthy and masking up and socially distancing and all that important stuff. I will see you guys later I don't know if I'm going to be posting a video between now and the new year, but if I do, I'll see you then. Otherwise, I will see you in 2021. May it be a much better year than this year has been. Happy holidays. Bye-bye.